Hi, this is Debbie, and this is Light Up Your Worth. I'm excited to bring you this week's guest, Billie Aadme. She's a brain trainer, founder of Go Mindspire, and co-founder of Amplified Impact Academy, where she trains and coaches people to get into rapture with their unconscious mind using the world's most powerful mind-body tools. Billie emulates a gentle yet powerful energy to hold space, to empower individuals to unlock their full potential to reach all of their goals and dreams. And she is transitioning from a policing career into her new mission of up-leveling mindsets for lifetime success. Welcome, Billie.
Thank you. So excited to be here.
Super excited to hear more about how you can get out of your own way with the subconscious tools you're using. Curious to find out what those are.
I did not understand the power of the unconscious mind until I had a session with a hypnotherapist, just randomly, not something I was seeking. Debbie, it literally changed my entire life. I could not believe how different I felt in such a short amount of time.
Mhm.
And I asked her, I'm like, what happened? What did you do? She said, I didn't do anything. I just tapped into your own wisdom of your unconscious mind. I'm like, what does that mean? I became so intrigued and went down this rabbit hole of I just wanted to know more, because when something works for you, you just want to know more and more. And when it feels good, and as you said, I'm transitioning out of 2 decades of policing. We've seen trauma. I've had childhood trauma. Everybody has trauma.
Yeah, big T's and little T's. I'm sure you've seen a lot of big T's doing that
Oh,
too.
and now I know all those traumas were meant to teach us lessons. That's
Mhm.
what they're meant to do. When you access the wisdom of those lessons and upload them into your unconscious mind, because that's just what happened, the
Mhm.
upload didn't happen. Because a lot of time we're in the trauma that whether we're children or we just don't have the resources in that moment to upload those learnings,
Mhm.
that's when it gets stuck. And when you can tap into that unconscious mind and allow the unconscious mind just to upload the learnings, and the key here is without talking about it. Most therapies want to talk about the traumatic event. As a police officer, we're mandated to see counselors. And every time I felt worse when I left, and it's because now that I know what I know,
Mhm.
literally was deepening that neurology of that trauma. And with one of the modalities that we do now is called timeline therapy, is we go back into the root cause, not these significant emotional events that are all connected. We
Mhm.
go back to the root and we upload the learnings, whatever needed to be learned in that traumatic event. And once that happens, the rest of it just unravels, releases, and it creates space to move forward and not be stuck anymore. And
Yeah.
that's what we mean by getting out of our own way. We're just stuck in our own way. As soon as we allow that to be released, we can open up the beautiful horizon for the future.
Yeah, it's so powerful when I work in the subconscious brain with another modality. I've been studying hypnotherapy as well.
Beautiful.
And it is so powerful of how many things we store, like it's stored within our bodies, within our mind, and can come back. And now, have you run across when you're adding in their own beliefs of the lessons that you're seeing some of the repeated things with the people you're working with?
Absolutely. With timeline therapy, there's a specific process that we take them through, and it
Mhm.
happens within a couple hours. We release the top 7 negative emotions: fear, anger, shame, hurt, guilt, rage, and sadness. And everybody's felt these. And again, we go back to the root cause, and it could be this life, it could be a past life, it could be past generations. Once we release those, then there's four top self-limiting beliefs that all of humanity either have one of or a combination of. And
Mhm.
that is unlovable, unworthy, not good enough, or powerless. We call those root uns. And every other self-limiting belief is connected to one or combination of those. So we figure that out as we're going through the learnings, what the theme is. And you'll notice that some of them are they just don't feel safe, worthy, or they don't feel good enough, or they
Mhm.
feel powerless. And once we figure that out, then we release those top 2 to 3 limiting beliefs. And that in itself is, in our world, we say we want to make the most amount of change with the least amount of work. And that's what
Mhm.
we do because we trust our unconscious mind that it knows where it needs to go. What we do in our work is we call ourselves the tour guide, and your
Mhm.
unconscious mind is the coach. We allow it to go where it needs to because it knows.
Yeah, I find those fascinating because I've seen that as well when I'm working with people. This is Light Up Your Worth. I see this foundational thing of people not really standing in their own worth and what a difference it makes.
I use the term magnificence. We're born with this beautiful essence, and then life happens and it covers up that light and that gifts. Our job is to find that light.
Hmm.
It's hindered by self-limiting beliefs that happen from children, that are given to us from our family, society, media, school, like all these programs that are put in. We're given this beautiful hardware, and then the software that's put in is limiting. And
Hmm.
what we need to understand is we can upgrade software. Like we upgrade phones and computers. That's what people
Hmm.
need to do. And by doing that, it helps them get closer to that beautiful light that they all have. It's just been dimmed with all this nonsense that we put on top of it. And that's
Yes.
what you say. It's just getting out of your own way and tapping into that inner wisdom.
Yeah, it's quite powerful. What are some of the changes you have seen what's with all of these limiting beliefs with the people that you work with?
I'm my biggest testimonial. I took a 180. I started this work only last May, June. Went through my breakthrough in June last year. Since that time, I have now been able to become financially free in that now I'm a real estate investor, did some shifting, got out of my own way that way, and now I
Hmm.
don't have to go back to this job. I have enough income, passive income now that now I can do this work that I'm doing now from a place of service. Policing was a beautiful career, and at the core of me, I wanted to serve. And it served its purpose, and everything happens for a reason. It taught me lessons of resilience and strength, not just deal with trauma, but heal it. Nothing phases me. I've seen the worst. It's allowed me to hold space for other people. And I think that people resonate with that, where they have that sense of safety. She's seen it all. Nothing will shock her. When I work with clients, I have that powerful yet gentle approach.
I want to thank you for your service, especially as a female, to step out and put yourself in harm's way. What other way to show that you are dedicated to service? And so thank you for that. I don't want to bypass 2 decades of putting yourself out there. And one of the things I've noticed with women and what you're saying is having this background, which is a really unique background to come into what I call the healing arts, where we don't have to relive all of these traumas to be able to change our lives, because how painful, like you had mentioned, that is within, nobody wants to go through something. In this work, have you noticed this inherent feeling of not feeling safe?
Absolutely.
And you don't understand where it comes from. I grew up in a working class, diverse neighborhood. There was stuff going on, but you don't understand that wherever you go, you still have this unsafe feeling. And have you come across that with the work that you're doing in the subconscious, or notice patterns?
We can't really figure out why people feel the way they feel. What I'm doing with my work now is bringing in the three principles from Sydney Banks: universal mind, universal consciousness, and universal thought. When you break down our life, our human experience, it
Mhm.
all comes from thought. When people think about their traumatic event, creates that feeling.
Mhm.
If we can realize that whatever happened in the past doesn't exist anymore. When I first learned this, it was a hard concept to wrap my head around, because
Mhm.
I was like, how can I not think about it? It happened to me. The more I go into this work, I'm like, you're right. It doesn't exist anymore. All I needed to do was learn from that event. And if I
Mhm.
relive that memory, I am literally bringing it back into reality. And that is where the tools allow people to shift those filters. The movie that comes out, is it automatically the horror show? Or can we shift filters so the movie that comes out is the love story? And that's what we get people to. Another analogy we use is allowing people to move from victim island to solution city, where life is happening
Mhm.
to you instead of for you. Those shifts are profound and come from within. I can't do anything to people. There's a big misconception about the work that we do, is that when I hypnotize someone, I'm doing something to you. Absolutely not. The definition was all hypnosis is self hypnosis, guiding your unconscious mind to go where it needs to go. People learn that there's nothing wrong with them. Everybody is sitting in perfect mental health. That's what Sydney Banks used to say. And it is just our thought that contaminates our well-being, because we think about things that have happened to us, and we relive it every day. When
Mhm.
I got that concept, it shifted so much for me because we can't control life. We can't control when things
No.
happen.
Mm-hmm.
All we can control is how we react to it. And if we look at it from what am I supposed to learn here? And now what can I do to fix it or to change it or to move past it? And that's
Mm-hmm.
where Solution City comes in. And it's a way better place to live. I'm like better
Right.
restaurants and there's meat. It's a lot more fun.
I'd rather go shopping there.
I can
I
say
think
there's
it's
personal power
powerful.
stores. There's
Like,
personal power stores and everything is free.
yeah, that would be great. What's really powerful is this: if somebody's tried different modalities too, because they have free will with hypnosis, we all heal ourselves. We have these cruise ship directors who help us. It's fast how powerful the subconscious brain is with all of its thoughts and these reoccurring things, how it programs our neural
Yeah.
pathways. It's just fascinating.
Work. It's just a matter of our using the right tool for the job.
Hmm. Yeah. And I think your unique proposition is your background. All of that makes for people who are interested in doing the work. I absolutely love your background. Now, I wanted to ask you two questions that I like to ask all my guests. One of them is I'm a big believer in music. It can change your mood, lift you up if you're having an off day. What is your go to song to help you?
I love Diana Ross's Coming Out.
Oh,
It gets me on my feet. I love that it's like we're coming out and we're constantly coming out and we're constantly evolving, growing, and just changing into the better version of ourselves. That's what our job here is on earth, is to
mhm,
become the best version of ourselves. I love it. The beat is great. I love walking out being like, yeah, I'm coming out and I'm going to show the world who I am and show the world my light and then shine that light for others and
mhm.
inspire. And it doesn't matter where you came from. My family's from India. I'm first generation born here. I'm a single mom now for two because in our culture, divorce is not condoned. I went against it all, even though the cards were stacked against me. I didn't succumb. I overcame it because I knew my worth. I figured out my power. Nothing determined what I was capable of. Being a single mom to two little kids is why I do what I do. I want to show them nobody can dim your light unless you let them.
Super powerful when we step into our worth. The whole world opens up to us. Things are presented to us. The second question I wanted to ask is in this season of your life, with everything you've experienced, if you could go back and talk to your younger self about your worth, what would you tell her?
I would tell her to trust herself.
Mm,
When you trust yourself and quiet your mind, the wisdom is always there. And I use this analogy of a snow globe. Like when there's
mhm.
a snow globe, you need to let the dust settle. When you're too much in your mind, you can't see the message. And when you do, the message is get out of your own way.
Oh, that's
And that is
powerful.
trust that you are magnificent. Allow the universe to bring you resources to show you that.
Oh, beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And I will add your song to the playlist. The
Mhm.
Light Up Your Worth podcast is on YouTube, and we have a playlist for all the songs my guests have shared. So we'll
Beautiful.
definitely add that. Now, Billy, how can people reach you?
I am on Instagram at go.mindspire. I have a website, gomindspire.com. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on Facebook. I would love to connect with people. I love sharing my story because I find when you share your story,
Mhm.
even that little glimmer of hope can literally change the entire trajectory of someone's life, which is what happened for me. And so I would love to connect with people. I have
Yeah.
a free book called Resilience is My Middle Name. And there's some
Mhm.
tasking and some assessments in there that I love. And it's a matter of, again, just quieting the mind and getting back to who
Mhm.
beautiful self was.
Oh, that is just so wonderful. It's been such a pleasure to have you on, Billy. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.